And just like that, down goes number 2 Miami, who once again proves they are not the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, and they have flown as close to the sun as they dare since 2017. As the number 2 team in the country takes an outstandingly, amazingly, ridiculous upset loss to Louisville at the Hard Rock. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. This is your first time watching Adapt and Respond. I hope you are not a Miami Hurricane, because this is not gonna feel good. But if you are, let me know in the comments below and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know, do you still think that Miami can make the college football playoff, let alone the ACC championship game, after taking a 24-21 loss to unranked Louisville? Now, we should say, and Miami fans will be quick to say, Louisville's a good football team. They had a double OT loss to Virginia that Virginia won with 2 defensive scores, which frankly seemed like the only way in which Miami was going to win this game, as Carson Beck threw not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 interceptions. It should have been 5 interceptions, because I don't know what the hell it was they were throwing that penalty for, Russell the passer, after the fact. But anything short of Malachi Tony was not working for the Miami Hurricanes against that Louisville defense. Ron English had them boys flying around the football like you read about. But I do want to give Carson Beck enough credit for throwing the football to Malachi Tony. He threw for 271 yards, 24-35 with those 4 interceptions and 0 tutties. But Malachi Tony, man, 9-35, 9 catches for 135 yards. And let's not forget an outstanding jet sweep that came on the touchdown. And then the jet sweep that was the pass for the former high school quarterback. Dude turned 18 a month ago. He is a monster. He's going to be great. I just don't know about Miami, who got bullied by that Louisville defensive line and got bullied by that Louisville offensive line, as it felt like it wasn't just Miller Moss who was dealing 23 of 37, and a little sketchy in the fourth quarter, but it was also guys like Isaac Brown, who basically didn't play the second half, went 15 carries for 113 yards. And then they got what they needed out of the other Brown, that is Kiwan. And Chris Bell said, hey, I see y'all got a Malachi Tony, but they got a 0 right here, and I'm here for it. 9 for 136, 2 TDs in this one. Outstanding win for Louisville, who had not beaten a number 2 team since Lamar Jackson was quarterback, and they stomped out Florida State 63-20. A lot of people in Louisville are going to be feeling some kind of way after this, as we are going to go in with number 2 Miami tumbling going into the week 9 top 25. We don't know where yet, because we got 5 ranked matchups tomorrow. And we have a ranked team playing Nebraska and Miami later. We'll have the live show for those of y'all that are around for it. But I got to tell you, man, didn't expect Louisville's defense to do this to Miami's offense, who couldn't run the football for nothing. Like, I thought Mark Fletcher was going to do something, but we're talking about a Louisville rush defense that gave up 63 total yards. And we're talking about a Louisville defense that took 4 balls away from Carson Beck. Mr. 29 wins, right? Mr. I got more wins than anybody not named Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence has played in this league. And everybody's going, yeah, but show me the national championship, folks. What about you? Y'all got the one SEC championship? Oh, yeah, the one where you was knocked out and Gunnar Stockton had to come in and win? That one? The other one, I watched Jalen Milroe go take that from you. So now Carson Beck might be the best quarterback at either Georgia or Miami not to win no ACC championship or SEC championship, not to play for a conference championship. And that way, even Quinn Ewers gets to go. And y'all thought this dude was better than me? And I was drafted in the 7th round. Remember, Carson Beck transferred to Miami, not just because Gunnar Stockton was on the way up, but because Carson Beck expected to do what Cam Ward had done, which is make himself the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Doesn't seem like that's in the cards this year if you take a losses like this one to Miller Moss, who got benched for throwing 3 interceptions at USC. Carson Beck not going to get benched for throwing 4 interceptions against Louisville. Now, you're going to see all sorts of it wasn't his fault on some of these interceptions, but as a former quarterback, I'm going to tell you, every interception is your fault, dog. Every single one. The one that hit him in the hands, bounce up in the ground, that's your fault. The one that you airmail, absolutely your fault. The one where you swear to God, you're throwing a post pattern and this dude kept running to go, that's your fault too. They're all on you. Only the coaches and the wideouts know once we get into the film room whose fault that is. But when you look at the stat sheet, guess what it's going to say? INT next to your name. Just like we say quarterback wins, right? People want to tell me all the time, hey, wins is not a quarterback stat. If it ain't such a quarterback stat, then how come we value it next to the quarterback so much, dog? How come we're talking about 29 wins for Carson Beck? You know what I'm saying? Winning usually follows guys around, and there do be tiers to this. There do be levels to this. And as we were talking about me having Oregon up there as the number 2 team in the country, Ohio State being number 1, a lot of people had feelings after Oregon was ranked ahead of Miami going into the game they lost against Indiana, only to find out Indiana is like that, right? Indiana going to move up to number 2. All they got to do is win the football game tomorrow. That's wild. That's wild. We can hit that with Ohio State, Indiana as the number 1, number 2 teams in the country. It's feeling not like 2007, but like 2011, 2013, back when Mississippi State, Ole Miss were like top 3 teams. Arkansas also in there. I remember at one point we had in the SEC West, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and like 5 teams in the old SEC West were ranked inside the top 5. It was wild like that. But once again, top 10 ACC teams is just taking these L's, dog. Miami lost to unranked Louisville. Number 8, Florida State lost to unranked UVA. Number 7, Miami beat Virginia Tech in that controversial ending going back to last year. In 2021, you had number 10 UNC beat unranked Virginia Tech. And 19, you had number 1 Clemson beat Georgia Tech. No, and then 2017, you had Miami losing to unranked Pitt, and number 2 Clemson losing to unranked Syracuse. It be happening like that in the ACC. It's also why it's really difficult to take that league seriously. But we will have so much more to talk about when it comes to the Canes and what they ain't. Because everybody down there at that private school want to act like they from the hood, but y'all from Coral Gables. Y'all not from down round the way. Y'all not from Broward. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the difference. You know what I'm saying? I lived 3 years in Lower Alabama, in Lower Georgia. That is Panama City, Florida. Okay? I understand. I overstand. Florida basically 3 states. And while Miami wants to call itself part of coming out that mud city, that ain't who y'all is. That ain't who y'all are. If you were, that's when Lamar Jackson would have came down there to play with you. But he went up to Louisville. And now Louisville will dump it on you. Them boys from Kentucky. So they're going to take your little Schellenberg trophy all the way back to the crib. And y'all going to go home as a 1-loss team. And we're down, once again, to an ACC team we thought was somebody, turned out to be nobody at all. Guess who's left in the ACC to carry the mantle? Ain't no Clemson. Damn sure ain't going to be no North Carolina. You're talking about Cal, dog. You're talking about Georgia Tech, dog. You're talking about teams we think are winning for a time, but will not be there at the end. Miami? We'll see.